Alright, welcome back everybody. It'll be just an update. I picked some stuff up over the weekend, short little video. As you can see, picked up this is another Magnum 18. I do have everything for it. This thing was just a mess. Should have took pictures of it and videos of it before, because I mean, like, you couldn't even see any of this because it was just caked with oil. It obviously had a humongous oil leak. So I know it was leaking from the dipstick tube because this handle and everything wasn't even on it, and I already threw the other tube away. They literally, it was just a stick and they had just had it stuck in there. I mean, you looked at this thing wrong and it was coming out. So it was obviously leaking oil there, because there was just, I mean, the inside of this thing was just caked with oil. And I think the biggest oil leak, the fuel pump was loose. And when I mean loose, I mean loose. And it was, this thing was probably just, I mean, this thing, like this whole side of this engine and the starter and everything, I mean, it was just caked with oil. It obviously had been leaking for a while. The oil that came out of this thing was just putrid, nasty, thick, black oil. If I didn't know any better, I would have said it was either diesel oil or something. I mean, it was thick. I mean, this thing probably had like 70 pounds of oil pressure because of how thick the oil was. I don't think it was leaking anywhere else. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't know if the flywheel side oil seal was leaking. I couldn't tell if the PTO side was leaking or not. I mean, there's oil and everything all around this engine. And again, like I said, it was I know it was leaking out of the dipstick tube, and it was leaking out of the fuel pump. Yeah, like I said, I mean, this thing, it was caked on. It also had a head gasket that was leaking. These two bolts here were, I mean, just finger tight, and obviously it was leaking there. They had replaced this side head gasket, and because I pulled that one, I'm like, well, I'll go ahead and pull it. I've got extra head gaskets if I have to. I can throw it on it. Hopefully it's got the reusable ones, which that side did. And that's how I knew that one had been changed. First bolt I pulled out had silicone on it, and I'm like, that's not a good sign. So yeah, it had been replaced. Well, I do have reusable ones that I pulled off of the KT that was parts that had blown up, and so I threw it on that side. But doing an inspection, it looks like it may have eaten an air cleaner screw at one time, because I've seen it before on other engines, because the bottom of the piston was a little chewed up. Didn't hurt anything. Luckily, I looked at the board and everything. I don't think this engine has very many hours on it, because you can still see the crosshatch in the bore. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with it though. I don't know if I'm gonna throw it back together, see if I can get it to run. I'm sure it ran. The guy I got it from said it ran. They just pulled it and replaced it with a Kohler Command, which, like I said, it was, at least there was oil in it by how much this thing was leaking. That's all I can say. So I picked that up over the weekend. Actually traded the axles and everything out of that hydro in for that, and the guy threw in that Vanguard. It's, yeah, I think it's trash. It's stuck. I guess I'll list that outside. The bore's rusted. It will turn about halfway and then stop. But I picked that up and got me a snow blade. Got a real good deal on the snow blade. Appreciate the guy making a real good deal with me for that. So that'll probably go on the 682 here. Although it could go on the 1811, I haven't really decided yet. I got to dig the 1811 out here a little bit. But I got to finish, and if you watched the previous video, I got to finish putting heat shrouds on this. And the one thing I did forget to mention, did get the charging system fixed. I think the regulator that was in this was just bad, because it was charging like 16 some volts, almost 17, which is a bit much. So I just swapped into the regulator, and now it's charging, I think, like 13 or 14, so it's better. But again, with this being points and condenser. It's going to draw power, so it's going to want to charge a little bit more because you're going to have to charge the battery faster than it can use it. So I'll take it. Like I said, it's a lot better than 16. So yeah, that's the little update. Like I said, that's probably going to end up just getting torn apart or something else. He pulled it because he needed the flywheel and the starter, because he had another one that it grenaded the flywheel, the starter ring gear on it, so he pulled it off of this. And then I had the flywheel, actually it's right there. This is the flywheel that was on the engine that he swapped. So, I mean, the teeth were just completely gone, so that flywheel's trashed. Don't know what I'm going to do with it. It'll sit outside, or like I said, I'll pull it apart. I don't know. But, yeah. I'll finish up here, try to leave this thing the way it's sitting, that way again I can move it, doesn't have flywheel on it. Set it next to the other spare one that I have in there, that's sitting next to the Magnum 20 that I still got to work on. So, that's it for now. Thanks for watching. Again, we'll go back and look at the other updated videos, keep track of everything. Subscribe if you want, appreciate it. But thanks for watching this.